Welcome to Coombe and Curry Sports Cards podcast, where collecting meets a game. Welcome back, episode 29, Coombe and Curry Sports Trading Cards. We are on the penultimate episode, actually, of the series. So we have decided to have a 30-episode series. So this is a penultimate one, and the last one will be next week, which will be pre-Super Bowl. And then we'll go into the second series after the Super Bowl. So that'll be a mega episode coming back into series 2 off the back of the Super Bowl and off the back of the All About That base competition that we're going to start running very soon. So keep your eyes out on the socials for that. But this is a special episode. We've got our guest on. We've got Sean here from Northwest Card Show, which is, we've been trying to get you on for a while, Sean. So welcome, mate. Glad to have you on.
Thank you. Glad to be here. It's good for probably second podcast I've done in terms of sports or cards and stuff like that. So yeah, it's intriguing and something fun to do.
Yeah, 100%. What was the other podcast that you're on?
I think it's called Patrick Mahomes, which is more all card based, really, all stuff to do with sales, the growth, the way that obviously it's a bit like stocks, really, isn't it? They all manipulate and stuff like that. So yeah, it's new to me. I love stuff like this, just having general conversations, whether it's sports or cards or anything really.
I mean, first off, what a name for a page or for a business, Patrick Mahomes. That's up there. That's very, very
yeah. You'd guess what team he supports.
Yeah, off the back of that, definitely. So I'm a Packers fan, and obviously we got dumped out by the Bears in an incredible match, and you let slip in the green room earlier, should we say, that you are a 49ers fans. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. If I'm honest with you, I'm not. If I was sat here and we had our full team out and got spanked the way that we got spanked, then I might be a bit disheartened. But
Yeah.
I was happy with how far we got. To be honest, we shouldn't have even got past the Eagles, but we outcoached them in a way. And yeah, as soon as we got the Seahawks, after losing the round to become the first seed, I knew straight away that we wouldn't win. And then obviously when the tight end went down with the Achilles injury, it was just one like we had nothing to do. The only way we would have been able to beat you is if we beat the Seahawks is if we scored on every drive, and as soon as the kickoff touchdown return, when it was kind of like a white flag in a way.
Yeah, that touchdown, that 95-yard touchdown was unreal, wasn't it? Obviously, yeah, Coombe's obviously a big Seahawks fan, and he's pretty much every conversation I have with him over messages about, yeah, he'll drop Seahawks in there somewhere. So they're obviously doing really well, but let's see how far they get, because they're coming up against some stiff opposition now, aren't they? With the teams that are left in it. So it'd be very interesting to see who gets to the Super Bowl now. Who's your money on? Who do you reckon will get
there? See, it depends now, doesn't it? Because Bonix is out. So the Broncos, it's one of them. Does Stidham go in there and do the same offense? Because they haven't been great on offense all year. They've been sticky. They have flashes, and they've won most of their games. They've come down to the last 2 minutes. They've been pretty good at winning late. Houston, to be fair, I thought Houston's defense would do well, and they just got outclassed against the Patriots. I didn't think the Patriots would have defensively. I knew against the run they were great, but I thought Houston would have won against them on defense, and they just didn't. So I reckon it'll be against the Seahawks, and probably I've not looked at it, so I don't know. Can they face New England in the final?
I'm not sure, actually. I'm not sure about the final lineup, but that'd be a hell of a match, wouldn't it?
Yeah. But obviously, I've not mentioned the Rams.
Ravens. Yeah. So time will tell. And I'm sure when King
Rams have got best. Rams have got best offense, but I just don't know about, like, if the Seahawks and the Rams came together, I don't think they'd be able to cope with the Seahawks defensively.
Yeah, time will tell. It's exciting. I'm gutted that the Packers aren't in it. I thought we had a good chance against the Bears but then we missed. McManus missed 3 field goals in the match, and that's obviously been quite substantial to that match. We lost by 4 points, and he missed
What did you think of Jordan Love's performance? I know he came back off an injury in terms of the first game, because he didn't play the last one or last 2? Because he got injured, didn't he?
Yeah, last 2 he missed because of a concussion. Yeah, he was all right. Like he did okay. So yeah, I've got a Jordan Love PC. So I'm quite biased towards him. But yeah, obviously coming back from that, he was a tad rusty. And then there was we spoke about it last week. The play that he had right at the end where the snap was low, and he picked it up, and it was like felt like it was in like a video game in like Madden or something, where watching the replay from the video behind, he picked it back up, and then the defense kept all of their all the players around Love was keeping all the defense away, and then he went to throw it, and he was just like, everyone's made their runs, so now they were trying to make their runs again, and he just threw it into the end zone, and it obviously didn't complete. So it would have been nice to have had him and Parsons like fully fit. Obviously Parsons is a horrific injury, but just when the defense is getting slightly sorted out, he gets injured. So it's one of them ones, isn't it? So, but we move on. We'll see what happens come Super Bowl time. All right, so Sean, let's get into, you're the guest. Tell us a little bit about, start at the beginning. Let's start with how you got into the hobby and how you got to where you're at now.
Okay, so to do with the card scene or card hobby, originally probably got into it when I was about 7 or 8, to be honest. Like we all did back in the day. It's different now compared to how it was, but obviously we all had, whether it was stickers or completing the Premier League books or the World Cup books. We didn't have in the UK as much available American sport wise, because now that's where my most base is. I collect more American sports now, but anyway, I probably didn't collect from 14, 15 onwards until I probably restarted collecting in 2020 during lockdown. Saw a lot of Gary V's stuff in 2019, 2020, obviously telling people that it's going to be not necessarily, well, he was saying it was going to be the next thing to collect and stuff, which he wasn't wrong on, in terms of people going back to retro things, whether it's a Game Boy or Nintendo 64 or something like that. So 2020, when everyone had time on their hands, I started collecting then, and then Whatnot and stuff like TikTok and stuff. It wasn't really, I don't know if TikTok was created then, but it wasn't around for selling cards or breaks and stuff. So I created a Facebook page for sports cards and did breaks like people do now, but it wasn't like it was now, in terms of now you see case breaks near enough every day, whereas they were very, very few and far between. Back then, people did it just to see the cards because they weren't as accessible in 2020. And then it kind of got, I don't know what it's like now because I'm not in that side of the card scene, but it got very hostile and very territorial with breaks, in terms of you get kicked out of some groups and stuff like that just because you were affiliated with breaks and they didn't want you to take their custom, really. And I personally wasn't about that, in terms of I did it because I enjoyed opening them because of how expensive they are, and it was a product that you're necessarily not going to open because you're aware of what breaks are supposed to be. In a way, it's supposed to be a thing. So if you've got £300-400 box and say, are you more affiliated with NFL or football? Which do you most talk about?
I'd say Coombs more NFL. I'd say I'm more football. But
Right.
we both have a bit of each. But yeah, he's more NFL.
So,
I'm probably more football.
so with yourself, which team do you support in football?
I'm a Liverpool fan.
Great for last year, not so great this year so far.
Yeah, yeah, agreed.
So with that, if a box costs £300-400, instead of you having to buy the £400 and then realistically you want the players from your team, the idea of it would be that you'd buy a spot of your team for say the box was £400, it'd be split between the teams, and the bigger teams obviously were more expensive than the little teams just because the players were better. And that's basically what it originally was.
Okay.
Obviously now it's people want the big teams to get the big cards because they're more expensive. So I went down the route of doing my own card show. I think the first one was the beginning of 2022 or the middle of 2022. We did like a 40 to 45 table one. It was a mix of sports cards and TCG. Like back then, everything was 50-50 back then.
Yeah.
Since then, Pokemon's kind of took over a lot, but yeah, back then it was 50-50, and then speeding up to now, I think we're on our fifth time at the exhibition centre where we hold 270 tables. 200 of them are TCG. We've changed it a tiny bit to try and keep the sports cards people in because we got a lot of messages where the sports were few and far between because they were dwindling more just because towards the end of last year, like you say, you went to Brighton Card Show. Sports cards came on a lot like they were in 2020 during COVID. So they're basically at the same popularity as they were during COVID, which is good. So we've now done where we have like 40 to 70 table area just for sports, and then we have TCG in their own area in the hall. So it's basically like a sports card show within a card show then.
Right. Okay. Wow. I mean,
And
yes, interesting to yeah, because we had a sort of a local, well, someone that lives down south, Stu Carsley, who was doing breaks, and also Coombe goes on breaks with a couple of people in New Zealand. I haven't really been on that many. I've probably been on a handful. So it's interesting to hear. Obviously, you were getting into it sort of towards the beginning of it, and so the reason you got out, it was a bit hostile in terms of like who got the spots, or was it like in terms of the breakers? How did that go down?
it was more the breakers because I was an actual breaker, so I wasn't getting in the spots. I was doing the boxes, so it was more just now with Whatnot and things you can create. It's just like eBay, isn't it? You create your own profile and then you get
Yeah.
viewed on it and stuff like that. Back then, the members that you got and the viewers you got, it's a bit like TikTok and a bit like, well, Facebook in general. You create a page and all the people go to that page, so it isn't like a Whatnot app where people funnel through the app depending on who's
Right.
live. It'd be that you'd get a core amount of people and it's basically like an affiliation. You'd get a bond with them and they'd break with you quite regularly. So groups were just very like, if you were in a group, you'd have people where they'd message other people asking them to come to the group and stuff, and it was just it got very just hostile, not very nice. And obviously with what the hobby and sports in general is supposed to be, it's supposed to be a communal thing where whether you have a debate about a certain sports team or player, it's still freedom of speech and still like that's the fun of it, having the debate. Like if you have a view on a player or anything like that, that's basically more the love of the game in a way. It's the reason we have things like Talksport.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. And that's what we the the card side of it wouldn't be there without the sports, right? So it's this, yeah, to discuss both points. Yeah, obviously you should be able to have open and honest discussions regarding teams and players' performances, and likewise with cards and stuff. So, okay, cool. Well, I mean, obviously, you moved away from that and you went into the card show. How that's it just blows my mind that you went into creating this whole card show off your own back. Did you do it like just on your own, or was it with other people? Was it how did that go down?
No, it was just for myself. I'd seen it in America. I think we started the same time as London Card Show and the same time as I think it was Cardiff. Now it's so difficult now. Even just so this year there's like 156 card shows already confirmed and new card shows constantly, which obviously I'm all for. But in my mind, as much as I want all of them to do well, at some point one of them is not going to do well, because I don't see how you can have, if there's 3 or 4 every weekend, depending how close they are, I don't know how you can get the amount of people. But anyway, I originally did it on my own. I don't know if you'll know, it would be in Brighton, but do you know much about rugby league?
No, I don't know.
No. So there's a team called Warrington Wolves, which is where I'm originally from, Warrington, which if you
Okay.
ask anyone, they'll just say it's in between Liverpool and Manchester.
Right.
It's about 20 minutes either side. So we just did it there, and then it got busier and busier, so I needed to move it. So I moved it to Haydock Racecourse, which is near St Helens. And then it kind of got bigger there. And then I kind of wanted a place where there was room for growth if it ended up growing, but also more space. And then that's when we decided to go to the exhibition centre, which was obviously it's a massive gamble with the cost of the place, because it's an exhibition centre in the heart of Liverpool, but it was also a step we needed to take. But yeah, it's been cool. So some of the things and people we've saw, like we've not had a sports person guest yet. We're looking to do it. It's just they're incredibly expensive. If you knew the prices of some of the players, like for example, Steven Gerrard costs £80,000 to get, and it's not for like a full day where you can do anything. It's like you have specific things, and it's for like 2-3 hours to do signings, and it's about £80,000. It's like some of the sports people are crazy.
That's monumental. Yeah, that's crazy. Stevie G's like my main PC. So yeah, I'd love to see him at a show, but for £80,000, that's sort of unfeasible, isn't it? Really. So in terms of like financially, yeah, how did so obviously you rent a venue to put it in, and then people buy the tables, right? The vendors buy the tables, or a spot. What else goes into it? Is there any? Is that it? Is that the sort of black and white of how it goes down financially? Because obviously, I know there's a lot of work going into it behind the scenes. You have to obviously get them people in there to buy the tables. But how? Just give us a bit more, because I'm sort of in the dark about how it all sort of operates.
It depends. It depends how legitimised you are. When I mean that, I don't mean like one's better than the other. I mean, as in, if you do it properly, where you have insurances and stuff like that in place, and work insurances, then that goes into it. So, for example, the exhibition centre requires minimum 10 million liability insurance.
Oh, okay.
So it just depends. That depends on the venue. Each venue is different. And then depending on the size of the show, so we have a small one at Lee Sports Village, which is near Wigan, again obviously up north. That's a small one. It's about 100 to I did 90 tables. I think we did the first one in December for our Christmas show. We did 90 tables. It can fit around 130, but that one, it literally is just tables, obviously chairs, tablecloths, and it's just more like we have a food person on site as well, and then it's literally just like a normal like card show.
Yeah.
When we do the bigger ones, all sorts goes into it. So even you might have saw them with London Card Show, that where you have the lanyards and the plastic printed ticket lanyards, which are obviously promoted and has different things on. Having 4,000 or 5,000 of them made is like a certain price, and then you have banners, VIP bags, which are obviously paid for, but they probably cost around, with what you put in them, they probably cost close to the ticket anyway.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
And then what else we're going to it? I mean, adverts alone now, with the amount of shows there are, just doing adverts on Meta ads and Instagram, because you have to pay tax and VAT on them now,
Right.
which is 20%. So if you do an ad campaign for £40 a day, and you do like £1,500 worth or whatever, you add 20% onto that. That's like, so half the time you might not make a massive amount off shows,
Yeah.
because it's, with it getting more difficult now to gain more people to come to the shows because of how many there are. That's why you'd have to do more ads, and it just
Yeah.
takes away what you would necessarily. And so there's all sorts of prices that go into it. Normally, it's literally just the venue hire, insurance, and then renting tables. But even renting tables, you'd be surprised at the price of them. Like we did a partnership with eBay, so we made our own tablecloths, and I'm trying to find somewhere to put them at the minute because I've got about 270 of them, and it's not the greatest thing to have when the missus is telling me they're in the front room and I'm like folding. But it beats paying around, I think they are £6 or £7 per tablecloth to rent out.
Right. Yeah.
And then the tables are £8 per tablecloth, and this is before VAT. So if you have 270 tables and 270 tablecloths plus chairs that are around £3-4 to rent, like you've got like a £3,000 to £4,000 bill just for. So it's, yeah, it can be hard to do sometimes. For
Yeah.
us at the minute, I'm trying to find more people that are close to our area that doesn't necessarily know about shows still, because there's loads out there. It's just so hard to access the people to basically tell them about it, because there's so many people that are like, oh, I never knew about this. And we've been going since 2022 doing the shows, and still many people don't know about that you can just go to.
Yeah. Right. I mean, obviously, you've had a fantastic growth in the time from you started to now. Would you say that you found, like, was it easier when it was smaller because it was a bit more exclusive? Like there was sort of, I guess the demands or sort of already there now. Now you've got bigger shows you're doing. But do you feel like, did you get more? I don't know how to put it. Like when you first started, the shows may not have come thick and fast, and they were a bit more exclusive to a degree. Did you feel better like then growing it, or now obviously you're coming over different hurdles now where you're, like you said, trying to get more demand from people that maybe don't know about the shows?
Yeah, I mean, now I feel how we did back then, to be honest, because of how shows are at the moment. I mean, near enough every show you go to is incredible. Like I tip my cap off to any card show host. You've got Ben, who does Manchester Card Con, which is at the end of the month. That's round the corner from me and us, which is doing it where the where the Salford Stadium is. Like there's so many in terms of that's the biggest issue now, is more trying to, because a lot of the same people go to them. It's the same with vendors. Like a lot of people will go to the same shows, so you'll see a lot of the same customers and a lot of the same vendors. So I don't necessarily have anxiety or feel any hardship creating the shows as I did now. Like back in the beginning, I'd be more worried about creating it because it was more new to me. But now I
Yeah.
think the biggest thing is obviously trying to reach new people. One thing I would say is I enjoyed the smaller ones back then because I got involved at the show because there wasn't as much for me to do. So when there was 40 to 45 tables, it was more of like a car boot, or it's like a car boot or an event. So once you've got people in, you have security. You can, because there's not so big and so many other things that could happen because it's smaller, you can just walk by yourself. So it was like I was doing my own show back then, but also being a customer at the same time. So
Yeah.
the relationship with vendors I had better because I could just speak to them in general and then collect cards from them. So like I was doing trades or buying cards for them because I still collect myself. I don't have a specific player or team. Mine is I'll have a look at anything that's numbered under 25 and I'll just get it. Like I did the Lee one that I just did for Christmas and I picked up a one of one Ricky Pearsall rookie, but it's the 49ers like logo patch in the actual thing.
Oh wow. Okay.
So I picked that up and picked Christian McCaffrey. Like it's a bit like a Kaboom, which is numbered to 23 or something like that. So that's kind of what I go for. I love the American sports cards because the patches and memorabilia are just so much better in them than what you get in the
So
football cards.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I completely agree. Like, Coom's got Jackson Smith and Jigba, like, and the patches that he collects or gets are just like, just just so much better than the football ones you see. Especially like, I think I've got a couple of football ones, but they're not like some of them aren't match worn. Some of them are just like a red bit of material. So
Yeah.
yeah, I agree. Do you collect like what sort of other sports and do you do like NFL? Do you do NBA? What other American sports do you collect?
So the middle of last year. Hello, Martin.
There's two Martins.
Yeah, welcome. Coombe has joined the party. Welcome, mate.
How are we doing?
Yeah,
Hello.
good, mate. Yeah,
Good.
just been chatting away to Sean about card shows that he puts on, and we're just talking about his what he collects. So yeah, sorry about interrupting you there, Sean. You were saying about what other sports do you collect?
Yeah, towards the middle end of last year, just before the NFL season started, I think there's a point in time where the NBA and the NFL aren't on. So I started watching the baseball and now I understand it more. Was actually quite interested in it because I used to go to my friends on a Sunday, and obviously on a Sunday, at some point in the year, all three are on. So the baseball, NBA, and NFL, I'm pretty sure are on. So yeah, so I've not collected any cards of the baseball yet, but I might look into it when the season starts. It's going to be a bit different this year though, because the Dodgers have basically done what Manchester City have done and just like bought everyone because they don't have it like NFL and NBA. You can, as long as your team can afford it, they can just buy the salary cap. So they've basically got a complete all-star team now this year, and they've won it 2 years in a row.
Right, here we go.
Yeah, so I mainly collect NBA or NFL. I got rid of a lot of my football cards, mainly because I don't understand it anymore. What I mean by that is I sold it at the show, but I had is it Matt Busby? Who was it? Who scored the hat trick in the 1966 World Cup?
Oh, Jeff Hurst.
Oh, Jeff Hurst.
Yeah, so I had a Jeff Hurst autograph silver English card, numbered to 25. It was a PSA 10. There was only like pop 2, but it was only worth like 150, 200 quid. And then you've got players now that like United, that Lacey, who obviously hit the crossbar. And then after that game, the crossbar, like his cards were selling for like 200, 300 quid just for Not even. Well, I think it was. It may have been an autograph. I think it was like out of 49 autograph of his rookie for like 300 quid, and he's not even. He's not done out.
Yeah. It's like
Um,
that, the Engamoa card, isn't it, Mark? You know, when we were talking about in the tops, you know, the rookie diamonds. We
Yeah.
were talking on one of the podcasts about the value of his cards.
But
But yeah, like we were saying, like it's so different in football. Where they started doing rookie cards and stuff like that. But for us, it's weird because the players, Engamoa's like barely played, is it? Yet everyone wanted the Engamoa card. He's like the big chase, isn't he?
yes,
But yeah,
the hype.
like I think recently, jumping onto what you were saying there, I've started, sort of sticking more with the NFL and Seahawks and JSN, and started to slowly get rid of my football cards for probably a similar reasons. Like I wanted to have a bit more, as Dom would say, a bit more direction. But also, yeah, like the values for football stuff are just really bizarre, all over the place.
yeah,
So
true.
yeah, sorry, Sean. So yeah, obviously you're collecting. You've got what's your P? You haven't really got a PC. You said. Do you collect a lot of 49 cards, or is it just a mix?
No, so my PC mainly is if I like something, then I'll get it, but I'll make sure. So my rule is just for the simple fact that the intent to keep value more is I'll just grab anything that's under like numbered to 25, so that even if like I've now started just grabbing players in America. I normally just buy them on eBay and use my American store, and then you can get them a lot cheaper. Like I've just got a Smith and Jigba one out of 10, which is
Oh
his
yeah,
rookie. It's his rookie patch auto, but it's with the Nike crest on it, the green one.
Oh, that's a bit yuking that.
oh yeah. I'll say send
But
that my way.
that's all I look at really, because in my head, in terms of, I don't do it for. I just like looking at them, but I don't really do it for value. But to keep value, if I was going to sell them on or anything
Yeah,
like that, if I'll just keep the value. Anything under 25, they tend to keep the value more, just because.
yeah, definitely.
Like when, like I was saying, when we first did the card shows, and first when it was said that I did the breaks in 2020, 2021, around then, you should have seen it. I don't know if you were collecting then or not, but when Justin Herbert, because it was the Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, and I think it was someone else was in the same draft class, and the rookie silver prism, they were going for like 300-400 quid raw, and you can
Yeah,
get that for
yeah,
like 50 quid now.
yeah. That's. I think that's one of the reasons I quite like. It's funny because I just collect what I want, for my PC. I'm not like a trader as such. Although I trade stuff that I pick up to get other stuff that I want. Yet it's still like it's like the stocks and shares, isn't it? Like if Seahawks go on and win the Super Bowl, obviously that's class being a Seahawks fan, but also I can see those dollar signs, those pound signs mounting up on the JSN collection.
We
But there's still time, like if we don't get it this year, there's still time. There's still time.
Coom, obviously haven't spoken to you since the match. Me and Sean did touch on the fact that he's a 49ers fan. How did you
Yeah.
feel after the match?
I was buzzing. I think to be fair, like I'm not. That's probably the most relaxed I've been watching Seahawks this year. But and that is because we literally scored a touchdown from kickoff. That did help. But I think you'd agree. Like when I was watching the game, obviously I wanted you to beat Eagles because you were. If you were going to beat Eagles, in my opinion, you were going to give everything because you were already depleted. So to beat Eagles, I think you just ran out of steam. There's so many injuries this year that to beat a team like that, to beat the defending champions, especially travelling there as well with all those injuries, it was always I feel like it's near on impossible to get anything against Seattle at home. I had a week's rest, and obviously you've given everything. You've got like I saw memes where, like people were setting up extra blue tents for you.
Needed it, mate. Needed it. I mean, what?
Yeah.
So the Eagles game, we had our tight end obviously go out, Kittle.
Yeah.
We had someone else, a defender, go out in that game. But then also playing you, we had Ricky Pearsall and we had Tungus, the backup tight end, go off the pitch. Like Tungus tore his
That's it.
ACL or something during the game, and I couldn't believe it because I was just like, but it's not even like a surprise at this point because it's the same every year, which I honestly really don't understand, because it's a shame because obviously we've been terrible this year at stopping the run, but then our first round defensive end, Mikel, he's been out for most of the season. He's been great. Then Bosa went out for the complete season.
Fred Warner.
Warner was probably the best in his position. Where it's just like I didn't expect us to get where we were. I didn't expect us to get, and then obviously I put the game on. I won about 900 quid on that game because I had 2 basketball games that I picked right, and I did Seahawks -6.5 because I just knew. And then obviously when Tungus and Thingy went down, I didn't see us having any way of. There was no way of being able to do anything against you.
No. And to be fair, Seahawks at the minute are on. You look at the numbers; they're just on fire. That said, I don't know if this is because like you see things differently when you're a fan of a team, but the Rams do scare me a little bit with Nakua and that. But then their last 2 games haven't really been convincing to me. So I think on paper Seahawks are the favourite, and you listen to most of the experts, I think Seahawks are definitely the team to beat. I'm kind of hoping, weirdly, Broncos beat Patriots, but no Bo Nix. It's going to be tough. But I think if we get past Rams, I think it's ours. It's my opinion. But
I think I think it's a double-edged sword. That one, from a person that's not a Seattle fan, all I would say is your last 2 games with your main roster, because obviously you didn't play. I don't think you played your starters in your final game, but you played like a deflated 49ers team, then a deflated 49ers team.
We played 49ers twice in a row now, with a break in between.
So all I would say is with the Rams, I think they should have got beat by Panthers, but I'm lucky for them, they've got a good quarterback. But they've been battle tested in terms of being in the trenches, whereas you might not. If you get into that sort of situation in a playoff game, do you think Sam Darnold, how will he cope in that situation? Because he's not, well, not for Seattle, he hasn't been put in that situation yet.
No, he had last season with Vikings, he had an amazing regular season, and then it all went wrong in the postseason. That's the question. But I think he's answered those critics with his performance against the Rams shortly before. I think we had 1 game in between, but just before we played you at the end of the season. And the 2 times he played you. I know you were depleted last week, but he did everything he could do last week, and he done it spot on. But that is the question, isn't it? The Rams, this game against the Rams is going to answer a lot of questions, I think. I literally can't wait. It's going to be good.
We'll find out next week. See how what your mood is like next week after the next match.
It'd be grim.
Could be
I suppose the only good thing is it's not like like if you don't make it, then you've got to watch the playoffs with teams that you don't support. At least if we do go out, it's only 1 game, isn't it? Everyone watches Super Bowl.
For us, I'm watching 2 that are in our bloody division, so
at your stadium as well.
Yeah, well, I hope that. To be fair, out of the teams that are left, if I had to choose, because obviously, taking away the fact that you're in our division, I enjoy watching the Rams because of Nakua. I think he's and in Jigba for Seattle, but I think the Patriots, even though everyone hates the Patriots because of Tom Brady, I think it's just something about them this year. I don't know if it's because of May.
Drake May's class, isn't he?
Yeah,
He is class.
it's so good.
Yeah, I don't mind the Pats, to be honest. I think out of the teams, if Seahawks don't win, Broncos or Pats, happy with. Just don't want Rams to win. Yeah, it'd be a nightmare. But yeah, I'll be watching either way. Will you be watching the Super Bowl?
Me myself,
Yeah.
possibly. I didn't know which person you were asking.
Yeah.
I might take the day off for it. If we were getting there, it's a bit different, isn't it, when your team's there?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I normally always watch the Super Bowl. It just depends, because it depends what they do, because I didn't really enjoy last year's Super Bowl. I don't know if it was because of how long they dragged out stuff that weren't to do with NFL in terms of like the halftime show and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I've always enjoyed it, but it's just, I don't know. It also depends on what the game's like on the Super Bowl, because you can have, like, I would have loved the Bears to get to the Super Bowl. Nothing to do with just because of how they play. Like, there's so many points, and they're never dead.
Yeah, it's good. Guaranteed an exciting game with the Bears. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Mark, are you watching this year?
Yeah, 100%. I'll be watching.
You took a day off as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got a week off, and I moved it from Monday to Sunday to Tuesday to Monday, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'll have the Monday off. So yeah, I'll stay up and watch it. Yeah, looking forward to it. But yeah, it's like you said, halftime show can be pretty painful at times. It can either be hit or miss, can't it? Really, it can be painful or cringy, can't it? But who's doing halftime show?
It is though, isn't it? I can't remember who it is this year, but I don't know. No, I can't remember.
Come back to you next week on that.
Not a clue myself, to be fair. I haven't had it after last year's. I mean, saying that, I forgot that last year was the Eagles and the Chiefs, and it was great just seeing the Eagles like dominate the Chiefs.
Yeah, that was
especially when they tried to do that thing, on the sidelines. Is it what Tom Brady tried to do? And like Patrick Mahomes was trying to do it on the sideline, saying, "Well, we can do it. We're only down so many. Like they did it, we can do it." And then they just ended up still getting blown out.
Yeah, yeah. I think they're in a bit of trouble now, aren't they? They've got with what's his face, Taylor Swift's
Kelsey gone. Yeah, Kelsey's out.
Yeah, he's going as well.
For the season.
They're quite an old side as well, aren't they? So it'll be interesting to see what they do, and who they bring in as well. It's nice to see different teams in the mix as well, isn't it?
Yeah, this was probably one of the best seasons in years in terms of like the end of the season. The final game came down to the MVP, whether it was going to be May or Stafford, and then obviously you've got how many teams you could probably have picked at the end of the season that could potentially win it. Like people were saying we could have won it. I don't see how they saw that, because I think it was because of how the coach was coaching, to be fair. But we had too many things to do anything. Like when we played you, as long as you take McCaffrey out the side, with no offensive line, all you have to do is blitz Purdy, and he's not got enough time to do anything. So, but yeah, it's just great seeing so many teams. Like even now, you're not sat there going, I'm like 80 to 90% sure this team or this team's going to win it. No one really has a clue, except from obviously with Bo Nix now going out with the Broncos. They're a bit deflated, but anyone that's still really in it has a guaranteed shot to win, really, don't
they? Yeah. Who's your football team, your soccer team?
United, which hasn't been great for the past few years, but was good this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, he was very good. Yeah.
Believe the game.
It was a huge result, really. Carrick coming in, right, and then winning the derby. I mean, it doesn't get much better for your first match, right?
Oh, Great. I mean, you've missed. I thought you were gonna. I don't know if you ended up overtaking us or not, because we were in fourth or fifth when we won that game, and both. It's just weird how the Premier League works because we basically battered them, and then both you, in terms of Liverpool and Aston Villa. Aston Villa could have gone above our level points with City to go second if they won, and
Yeah.
Liverpool could have gone above us. I think. I don't know. You might have still gone above us with a draw. I can't remember, but you drew to Burnley and they lost to Everton.
Yeah, shocking season, isn't it? It's just shocking season all round. But
Just so
Liverpool
hard.
have been so poor.
Do you think? So
Let's have a look at the table.
I've kind of stopped watching football in a way. I've started trying to get back into it a bit, which is why I'm trying to go tonight. But I stopped and I had the conversation with my granddad, and he just said, "No, it's because you're saying this because United aren't what they used to." And I said, "No, I don't enjoy watching football as much anymore. Like, I think United have actually been one of the best teams to watch this year, just because it's so open. There's so many goals in the games. But every team plays the same. They all press. You don't have, like, from an early age now, players are coached out of expression. So you don't see many people come on the scene and run at players. They always have to turn and pass and cycle the ball. And I just find that every team, like if you go down the table and you watch Brighton, Brentford, and Bournemouth, tell me how different they play in terms of team styles.
Yeah, you probably see a little bit of that with Brighton played Bournemouth the other day. They're two very similar teams, two similar playing styles. But you're absolutely spot on. I've heard a lot of people say that where the players just aren't the same anymore. And Mark, we've been speaking on the pod quite a bit, haven't we? About I've been saying, like, even when I moved over here, all my life, I'd watch every Liverpool game, and no matter what I had on, I'd want to watch Liverpool game. Now I can kind of take it or leave it. And I've said that for a few seasons, sort of falling out. Like, there's other factors as well, isn't there? Like VAR and the complete inconsistency in the refereeing, the standards and stuff like that. And then there's other things like, look, I remember most of our weekends, Mark, we'd meet up, wouldn't we? Watch Jeff and the boys put on an accumulator, sit in front of Soccer Saturday. But even that's, like, who wants to watch that anymore? Soccer Saturday, it's changed, isn't it? Like, it's just everything. It's just not the same. No Soccer AM, that culture, everything you've grown up with, it's all just different. It's not just the football. And then obviously you've got that football aspect as well. But people I speak to, no one can quite put their finger on why it is, but I feel like a lot of people feel the same. It's different. But if I go back, like, let's say, back to the school days or teenage days and stuff like that. If someone told me I'd be more into NFL when I was older than football, I would have laughed. No chance. But if I could have Seahawks win the Super Bowl or Liverpool win the Premier League this year, I know what I'd choose. Yeah.
I've been listening to.
You don't even need me to tell you the answer.
I don't need to hear it. I've been listening to FC Bullard, the podcast, which is Jimmy Bullard and Fenners from Soccer AM.
Yeah.
And a lot of their discussions are about exactly what you both touched on. There's lack of creative players. If Bullard did his best 11, and it's all going back, all like Joe Cole, and then Fenners was like John Barnes, and just all players that, like you said, were allowed to express themselves and were exciting to watch and entertaining. And now feels like it's just been drained out of the game. And like you said, Sean, it's been coached out of players. It's so robotic how they how these players come through. But I guess that's why it's probably helped me get back into NFL, because it's been quite exciting to watch this season, or very exciting. So, but look, let's go back to cards. I've got a couple of questions for you, Sean.
Yep.
Obviously, you've been doing the card shows for quite some time now. What's been your best pickup for yourself, and what's the best card you've seen at a show?
So maybe so I'll do one Pokemon one because I do them. I try and dabble in everything just so I have some sort of information if anyone speaks to me that I can talk about it. So best card I've probably seen at a show is probably the guy who illustrated Charizard, the original Charizard with his illustration on as a PSA 10. Like his autographs are massively expensive. That goes for like 60-70k as a PSA 10. I've not in the UK. I've not seen any like original Charizards that are like PSA 8s or 9s because they go for like 100 odd k. In terms of sports, there's the joint Ronaldo and Messi card, which is autograph, which has been at one, and I think a guy had a Ronaldo's diamond one. Do you know is it impeccable or something that has like the emerald in the middle? That's probably one of the best ones that I've seen in terms of pickups. I never really get to do it anymore. Like I said, I did the one on December because the smaller ones I can do it to because it doesn't need really not the organising bit, but during the day I don't have to keep with it all day. Whereas the big one I have to have like a walkie-talkie and sort everything all day. So obviously I said at the beginning that in December I picked up the 1-of-1 Ricky Pearsall with the 49ers patches, like the 1-of-1, which is like a national
nice.
treasured one.
Yeah.
I did that as like a trade part cash. And then for Pokemon, probably when we have the guests, we've had a few guests on, so obviously the voice actors Pokemon. Just getting them to sign them is great for me. Nothing to do with resell or anything. Just it's more like a memento for the shows because I bought a card. I don't know if you'll ever see one. I know you might not necessarily collect them, but have you ever seen a hollow card for a Pokemon?
No.
As in, like it's see-through?
No.
No, right. So they brought out this Pokemon Center Gengar, which is only from the Japanese cafe in the actual like Pokemon cafe, and it's completely see-through. Like I can. So there's two. Is it on here? Yeah. So that's what it looks like.
Oh wow, yeah.
And that's signed by Ted Lewis, which was the voice actor of Gengar.
Oh, nice.
And then the only other best one which I would have picked up, which you might like, even if you're not a 49ers fan, which is also see-through, is this the on-card out of Joe Montana.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's decent.
Legend.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's I like the old stuff. Like I'd love. Could you imagine today's age knowing everything we know and being able to pick up like players like Michael Jordan and stuff back from the 90s and actually knowing it before everyone else?
Yeah, that's it. If you had a time machine, that's it. You'd just I'd go back and collect Michael Jordans and Charizards. That'd be unbelievable, yeah. But we spoke about that with one of our friends, Si. I remember whenever anyone, because I don't particularly collect Pokemon, but I had a little dabble with it back in the day, like when it, sort of roughly when it came out when we were at school. And when I think of a Charizard or someone talks about Charizard, I just remember Si, our mate, going round saying he's going to collect them off people off his estate and stuff like that. He used to be quite into it, didn't he? But I think I grabbed a few packs, but when there was no Charizards in there, I think I lost interest. But I definitely dabbled with it. But yeah, like if I could go back now, I'd get a load of Charizards, buy a load of sealed boxes, and wait till 2025, 26, and I'd be sorted. It's mad, isn't it?
Even like the condition, like I had the full set, and I'm pretty sure I had it in my auntie's car in like, where you like the back of the seat where you have to like the hover bit. I'm pretty sure they were just stuffed down the side there, and I'm pretty sure that like that Seat is somewhere. But even if somebody brought them out, I don't think it'd grade a 1. Never mind like a 6.
Yeah. There's probably people all over the world that have got like their old Pokemon, set in their mum's garage or or something like that. There's probably loads of it out there still. But that's the reason we want to do this and speak to. I was saying to Mark, we've had, particularly in the last week or so, I've had a few people reach out. A guy from the States has reached out. I've got a guy lined up from New Zealand to come and join us on the podcast as well and have a chat and things. But, you know, like every week we chat about like how people store their cards. It's a conversation that comes up a lot, you know, and what people like. You know, I've got, you know, friend of the pod, Brock Nash. He buys a lot of cards in from the States, but he doesn't like them in slabs. So he's got a list of like his 10 Grail cards that he wants in his lifetime. And he wants them in PSA 10s. And that's it. But every other card that he gets, he'll crack the slab and he'll put them into a one touch. And that's how he wants to display his. And I find that I just find that baffling. But the beauty of it is everyone's got these quirks, haven't they? You know, you talk about you can talk about anything. You know, you've got like your bookends, your shirt matches, your colour matches, number matches, stuff like that. And it's just amazing what you know people like and things like that. It's fascinating.
That's how I collect it, you know. But I'm currently looking. I'm trying to do my own. I'm trying to source my own. So you have your mags, but you can get a thing where you put it in, and it can. So like that Montana one that I showed you, it was a red mag, so it matches the color card. But there's a thing in America called mint with like a 1 as the mint, and they have it where they have the mag already, so your card's already in the mag, but they have a thing that it basically like clips into. It's magnetic, but it can be like graded. It can not graded, but it can be engraved on the side with like whether it's your hobby name or whatever on the side, and then
really?
and then it magnetically clips into this thing, this like glass case, and you can put it on the wall as like a glass case with it all clipped in.
Yeah.
Because I don't like, I especially PSA. Like people only grade PSA because of the money. But I don't think I don't think the money in the history, because I don't think the slabs are very good. They break too easily as well. Like, it's the same with like the ace grading in the UK. Like the fact that they brought out the colour match. It's not as, I don't know what it's like for sports, because unless you get a Kaboom card or a downtown, I don't know how you colour match the card. But just having something like that to give more personalisation to the card when it's graded, I think it's great. Have you heard of CGC?
Yeah.
See, I like them because it's a uniform card, because it's black and white, and I always liked grading with them. But I've now started going over to Tag, because Tag's like
they're like transparent, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're definitely on the rise as well, Tag. But I think we were speaking on a previous pod. Over here, you've got Premier Card Grading (PCG) up in Auckland, and for me, again, it's interesting because obviously Mart and myself are new. You know, we're probably about just over a year in now, and it doesn't matter to. I actually like PSA slabs because I like the slab to be as kind of thin and small as possible to the card. I don't like the bulky ones. That's why I don't really like one touches. They're just a bit too bulky. But PCG over here, the slabs are fairly close to PSA, and it's cheap. And as I said, I've got no patience. So you know, I've luckily got some really nice cards from breaks. And people are like, "Are you going to send it to PSA?" And I'm like, "No, I'll send it to PCG in Auckland because I'll have it back in 3 weeks, and it will go into my PC." I like the slab. I want it in the slab because it's protected. I like how it looks. I like how it feels. It doesn't matter to me whether it's PSA. However, when I try and buy cards, I will try and prioritise buying a PSA card.
It depends how you do that, you know. So there's several ways to look at it. So on, because at our show we have Get Graded for the UK, and they grade on site, so you can send your cards on site and get them back same day on, like, at the card show. Now, granted, if you're doing something to like make money in terms of whatever card, you're not going to make money. But the one thing I do say to people in terms of any of the card graders in the UK, get graded the best in terms of if you crack the card and send it off, you'll get the same. So they're very renowned for if they give you a gold label, which is what their like 10 10 10 is like a gold label. If you send that to Beckett, you'll get a black label. So there's always ways of looking at things in terms of if you want to buy something yourself and even make money on it, if you bought the PCG ones and then cracked them and send them off to PSA, you'd make money. It just depends on PSA at the minute because there's loads of stuff up in the air. Because I think there's a very good chance they might be shut down at some point by authorities in America. Just because, and I don't mean this by anything that they do grading wise, because they brought out this year, they brought out their own auction site.
Yeah.
That they sell directly for themselves, but now they can buy the card off you before they grade it. So if you send like a £2,000, £3,000 rookie Kaboom card that's numbered like out of 10 the gold, like they can buy it off you and then auction it on their site. But that doesn't stop them from going, I'll PSA 10 this even though it's a 9 because we'll make more on the auction. There's no regulations to say they can't do that, which is the problem at the moment.
Yeah, there was that story, wasn't there, where they had because they had the buyback option, which I assume is what you're talking about, but where the chap had been given, he'd put in like 3 or 4 cards and they'd been graded a 9, and they'd offered to buy them back, which he did, but they didn't change the number, and then they'd been recertified as 10s. But I think there's a bit more to that. Yeah, I'm not sure that's the whole story, but yeah, it's definitely a conflict of interest, and they've bought up Beckett, haven't they, and SCG as well. So they dominate the market. Yeah, but if like you said there, if you've got that platform to have your own auctions and stuff like that, that's definitely a tricky one, because like you said, it's in their interest to then grade them higher. But I think that I listen to a lot of podcasts in America, and recently I could listen to them, and I've really enjoyed them sort of since we've been doing this. But all they talk about at the minute is grading, and I'm getting bored of it now, because they're absolutely obsessed with it. And really, in my opinion, again, we're complete novices, but like the sooner you get AI grading, the better, because you're getting consistency. With PSA, you see it all the time. It's all done by experts still, isn't it? So, and I'm sort of exaggerating, but if someone's woke up and they've not had their coffee and they've had a row with the missus, does that affect if you get a 10? And I just think to me, it just seems absolutely logical to have AI grading across the board. And then you've got that consistency as well, when you've got more information about, what I don't like about PSA is obviously you've got your upcharges, so they want a piece of the pie as well. You get a big 1-1 or something like that, you're going to be paying a lot of money for your card to be grading, because they want a slice of that secondary market as well. When you're selling it, and you're going to make a lot of money because they're going to put it in a PSA 10 slab, they want a piece of that pie as well.
I never understand that, because they don't like so if you send something and it becomes a big card or whatever, who says that you're going to sell that? Like, it could just be a PC item, and they're upcharging you because they think that's now going to be a 10 grand card or whatever, so you'll get like £1,000 upcharge or whatever it is. But what if you're never going to sell that?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, but then it's funny, because it probably comes down to how we are as a society or something like that. Because someone says, PSA is what you want, until that changes, that's always going to be the same. For some reason, people might not be able to answer that question. If you're getting something for your PC and you've got no intention of selling it, why are you sending it to PSA?
It's a whole other episode. Look, I know you're pushed for time a little bit, Sean. So look, just to sort of wrap things up a little bit, give the listeners a little shout out about the next show that you're hosting and where they can find you on the socials, mate.
Yeah, no problem. That's cool. So the next one is at the Exhibition Centre in Liverpool, next to the M&S Arena. It's on February the 28th, which is a Saturday. There's 270 tables in total. There's 200 CCG tables, but then there's like a 40 to 70 sports card zone where all the cards are together to try and push more sports in the north, because down south it's very popular. Like say Brighton, it's quite popular, but the more you come up north, a lot of the vendors are down south, so it's harder. So we are trying to push that. To find information on it is on Instagram. You can just type Northwest Card Show. It has underscores in between, like Northwest Card Show, but I'm pretty sure if you just type it in, it will come up. TikTok's pretty much the same. It's NWCS events, and then the Facebook page. But yeah, stuff like this, podcasts are like card shows. That's how I treat them in terms of you go. It isn't just for getting a card. Like you don't go get a card and whatnot and leave. You speak to so many people, speaking obviously about how we have, because it leads on to so many conversations. Whether you start speaking about a card and then what the memory, because that's what cards is. It's the story behind the card, which is what gives you a PC.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So yeah, depending whether that's a player and you like that player, like Odell Beckham Jr. didn't do a great lot. Like he was great when he first come in. End of the career wasn't great, but will always be remembered for the catch in New York. So yeah, it's that's why I always try and tell people. And everyone loves doing breaks to hit a big card. We all dabble in it and stuff like that. But I always try and tell people, like, if you want to collect and stuff, and you want to be able to speak to people, because you're not always able to speak to people that do the same. Like with a podcast, it's great because you two have obviously, don't know how long you've been collecting, but obviously you're doing it, and it's probably not your main forte. Probably your main forte is watching sports and talking about sports. But it's great to get into, and you just end up then you can ravel on for hours talking about different things with it.
Yeah, definitely. I think we just like speaking to, like, like different people, and when we talk about the fascination of all the different topics you can talk about, whether or not it's how what grading company you like or how you store them. The same applies to having someone on talking about why they collect, how they collect, and stuff like that. It's kind of fascinating, really. But having the likes of you on, Sean, and with the shows and stuff like that, that's something that's really cool for us as well, because there's a lot of information there for other people and stuff like that. And like you were saying, if look, we want to grow our audience and our listeners and stuff like that, but if there's people listening that then think, you know what, I want to go to a card show or something like that, having you on helps us grow our podcast. But also, if we can get someone that, even if it's one person that thinks, I want to get into cards or go to the card show, then that's why we do it. So yeah, we're fairly new to it, but absolutely love it.
Well, thanks so much, Sean, for coming on. I really appreciated your time tonight, mate, and chatting away about the card show. Good luck with the next one. And we look forward to catching up soon with you, mate.
No problem. Yeah, thank you very much for having on, guys.
Cheers, Sean.
No worries.
Nice one.
Thank you. See you later.
Anything else from you, mate?
Bye-bye.
Koom, anything else from you, mate?
I'll pick you up a nice card again, Mark. I don't know why I do it.
Yeah, go on.
I keep getting Packers in the when I do a break. Have a look, see if Packers available. But I also got this in a sale. Mosaic Matthew Golden.
Oh, nice. Well, yeah, that's bring it over to your right a little bit.
Oh, sorry, hold on.
Oh, lovely. He played really well against the Bears.
Yeah. You like that, don't you?
I do like that, Chief. I do.
I'm hoping I'm hoping my JSN Genesis arrives today or tomorrow. It's cleared customs, I can see. So yeah, so I should that's I'm buzzing about that. That was part of what I bought when I sold that big card. So it's a really good addition to the PC. Yeah, so I'm buzzing for that. Might pop to the card shop today, Top Play Sports Cards. So I might grab a box there. I've got to tell you though, I was in a break, surprise, the other day, and it was a four box Phoenix International Mega. I had Seahawks, I had Jets as well. First two boxes, nothing, right? And I'm starting to think, recently my luck has been out on breaks, I tell you. Then I got a Jets card, a rookie, not heard of him, number to 25. I thought, yeah, it's quite nice. If you get nothing else, yeah, fair play. Do a little deal with Card Geezer, he'll be on it. And then I think it was on the last box, I got a Jalen Milroe card that was numbered to 50. So I was buzzing. It was like a teal Mojo insert. Like, looked really nice. Same pack. Was it same pack? Next pack? It was very close. Out comes Sam Darnold, gold, 10 of 10. You love to see it. Yeah, bookend.
All right.
I was absolutely buzzing, mate. Honestly, I was like, I'm back.
He's back. Got that.
It was so good. It was so it was so good. I had messages from people going, well done, congrats. That's what I love about the community. Like when someone has a big pull or something like that, you get messages going, oh, congrats, mate, well done.
All the best.
You're like, yeah, thanks. Yeah, I've done really well there. All I've done is watch the stream, but yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I'm going a little weekend away, so I'm going to I'll be collecting my cards in person as well this week. So I should have quite a haul to pick up.
Beautiful. That'll lead us on to next week's final episode of the series.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. As I mentioned earlier, this is the penultimate episode. Yeah. I've been busy. I've got the. I won't go into too much detail, but I've got the Merlin UEFA Club competition blaster box, was really fun. I've got 2 of the DACA boxes, AC Milan and Inter Milan. I've also all pre-ordered the UCC flagship blaster box and the Topps Chrome Premier League blaster box. So
I would love to see that. The Topps Chrome Premier League.
Yeah, that comes on. Funnily enough, that is released on the 5th of February, which is my wife's birthday. So I'm sure she'll be ecstatic that'll be delivered on her birthday.
You should get a video of her on her birthday ripping the box.
Maybe I will.
Yeah. See if you can be convinced.
Obviously, you came on halfway through the episode, but it was a really interesting chat with Sean about this. We spoke about card shows financially. How does it work? How does it operate? How did he start? Yeah. I think this will be a really great listen back for the listeners, and I'm sure you'll enjoy the chat that we had. But yeah, look.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But as I say, that's the challenge. The challenge for us with the podcast being New Zealand and the UK, and especially with wanting the guests on from the US as well, is trying to get that time right. So, I'm really, really excited to get this. I was contacted on Instagram. I spoke to you about it, and the guy's so keen to come on, and I shared the message with you because it's really cool. That's what we wanted. We get all these different, like Sean as well, coming at it from a card show point of view, and then we've had like Nick from KCC, who's a breaker. We've had obviously Seaside Sports Cards, Cardsley. Is it Cardsley Breaks or Cardsley Cards?
Yeah.
Well, from a breaker's point of view, and then we've had plenty of people that are collectors as well. Like really excited to get the chap on from the States, and then I've got a guy called Bazza Collects. He's going to come on as well. He's like creating some content over here He's probably similar age to us. I think he's sort of getting back into cards, but he's on Instagram. His content's really, really cool. And he's really keen to come onto the podcast as well. So yeah, that we'll line those guys up for the start of the second series. So I don't know if you've explained, but we're going to do our last show next week.
Yep.
And then we're going to have a couple of weeks off, and then we're going to come back with our series 2, slightly revamped. We've got some ideas, haven't we? What we want to do. And like we were just saying there, got some really good guests lined up. Like, I'm really, really excited about that. Yeah, it'll be good.
Yeah, buzzing that. Let's wrap it up. Let's look forward to next week's episode. It's going to be probably like a reflection podcast, I guess, on the whole series.
Exactly. Yeah.
Talk about it in more depth, and then we'll have a bumper first episode of series 2, post Super Bowl, and we'll look forward to both of those. So, if there's nothing else from you?
Should we see if we can get HJ on, Ben Huggins, our first guest? Let's get him on the last show. Bookend. He was the first one on with the series. Let's get him on as the last one on the series.
Bookend Huggins. This is a cool.
Yeah, Bookend Huggins. If Huggins isn't available, let's get Dom on, and I'm sure we can find some beef. We'll have one more fight night.
Sounds good, Chief.
Yeah, cool. Right, it's been a pleasure.
Pleasure's all mine.
Regards to your family, boy.
Regards to your family, Chief, and I'll see you on the last episode.
Over and out.
Over and out.